G'day guys, welcome back to another Fair Income episode. In today's episode, it was just a chill episode with a couple of the boys. We talk about our experiences traveling, Daintree Rainforest, scuba diving experience, the idea of being uncomfortable. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. Make sure to share, like and subscribe. Just start watching, man. That's when I realized, because as soon as I jump off, you don't feel any form of harness or anything like that because you're tied up by your feet and you just jump. So in those first like 3 seconds, which feel like 10 minutes, you're saying to yourself, bro, why the hell did I just do this? Like, in what right mind did I think this is the right thing to do right now? You know? Then as you go down and then all those feelings come past you and everything's flashing before your eyes, then you realize like how good it is. Then you get hit with the biggest like,
adrenaline rush, yeah?
fuck, that feeling.
It's like I could do anything.
Yeah, I understand crackheads now, bro. That feeling.
That was a perfect segue. Everyone's been seeing your Instagram photos of you scuba diving, and we hung out last night and we couldn't hear the stories.
You couldn't probably hear it because I was deaf, low-key.
Yeah, your
Bro,
ears
I
are
came
that
back
bad.
from that trip. First of all, 10 out of 10 trip, man. Well, I really enjoyed
One of the
it.
best trips of your life?
The best trip.
Better than your Umrah trip, because I know you hyped that one up and you and the boys went. It's a bit different, religious, but as in like maybe the vibe. Your personal
They're
unit
both
friends.
up there. You know those trips where they're not too long, not too short. When you come back, you don't come back tired, and neither do you come back like, oh damn, that trip was a bit too long. Or it wasn't short enough that like I wanted to say like, hey, let's go for another 3 days or something like that. Yeah, it was one of those trips. But bro, 10 out of 10 trip, man.
What made it so good?
Everything, like, because we weren't ever consistently in one place. That was one thing.
Okay.
Second of all, it wasn't just us the whole time because I went with 2 other mates. And on top of that, we were meeting people consistently on a daily basis, you know what I mean? Like, for example, when we won the scuba diver trip, the scuba diver aspect, that leg of the trip, there was like people from all over Australia, then a couple of people from around the world type of thing.
Okay.
All of them were brought together just for the fact of like scuba diving and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's mad.
you know?
Before people,
And everyone's low-key like adventurous like that type of
Yeah.
thing, you know?
before we touch on the story, why don't you give overall like what the trip was about,
Yeah.
and
So,
then we can touch down in each area, because I know you did. You said scuba diving.
yeah.
What else?
So we started off the trip basically in a nutshell. So this is how the trip came to be, yeah, Loki. Deep into lockdown, everyone wanted to travel. So we're like, one day I remember me and the boys were playing basketball, and this was when curfew was around, Loki, and it was like just before curfew. And I remember the time was weird, yeah. I have elephant memory sometimes, so I remember things specifically on certain purposes, yeah. Anyway, we just as lockdown was about to happen, it was like 8:30. Curfew starts at 9 o'clock. Yeah, and we played basketball, and it was one of the only nights because lockdown was during like that winter period. Yeah, it was. I remember that specifically because that day the weather was just gorgeous. It was like a summer day. All right, so then we were like, hey, we have to do something, inshallah, like summer. We're gonna go on a holiday or something like that. But you know how guys are. Well, I just air raid. So we're gonna do something, and never ends up happening, type of thing. So we said. So initially in lockdown, I really wanted to go to Cairns and do this stargazing trip, which is a trip that we actually ended up doing. But then after,
Damn.
obviously it's an expensive trip, especially when you're traveling interstate between Australia, yeah? It was like almost like 2.5K type of thing. You can spend
For 5 days.
for 10 days.
You in 10 days.
Yeah, 10
Oh,
days.
okay.
You can do half that time in like Bali or Thailand or something like that. You know, like scuba diving, we ended up spending like a K just to do the scuba diving aspect of it. You can do it for like $80 in Thailand or something like that. You know,
But you got the license, which is a bit different.
you get the license over there too.
For that cheap?
Yeah,
Also,
everything's cheap.
international's not really an option.
That was a problem.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So we sussed out. I remember we put on this like this random generator thing, this spinning thing, and we put on all these spots like Langkawi, Jakarta,
That's a good
all of
idea.
these random spots. Yeah, and we said wherever that happens, because we're in disagreement where we wanted to go. Tokyo was in the list as well, so we put it in. Langkawi was a spot, so we all agreed. Well, khalas, we'll just go Langkawi. That didn't end up happening, okay, because of the lockdown
Borders and all that stuff, yeah.
And not only that, Langkawi and stuff, they were saying something about like you have to have like 50,000 US dollars as like a health insurance cover, just in case you get COVID. They're not going to deal with your
Bloody
stuff.
hell.
Then Omicron came, and then we all got Omicron and stuff. So like, all right, bet we can't do this. Then after, you know, when I told you when I had COVID, Turkey aspect of it, I started watching like Sultan Mehmet and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, bet, regardless, I'm going to go to Turkey now. All right? So then after, as that happened, Turkey was just shambles. Like everything was just discombobulated, yeah? So like allow that. So we said, let's go back to the original plan. We all said, allow the money type of thing. Summer's about to be over. We're all going back to, like uni's about to start for me, all that kind of stuff. Let's just do it. So we ended up doing it. So then after, what happened was, and going back to the whole thing about how guys are, we all just say fake promises and stuff. Like, yeah, we'll do it. So like, we all basically one night, we just hopped on the internet and we went booked 1K skydive.
Okay.
Sorry, the pro dive. That's what it was called.
Yeah. So then your plan was for this trip to go scuba diving. I know you went bungee jumping.
Scuba diving was just the only plan.
Okay.
Whatever we wanted to do after that, we just added on top
What
of that.
did you do overall? Like,
So we
give us a
started off-
list of the whole trip,
Yeah.
and then we'll touch on to it, just so people know what you went for. You know.
So we started off the trip with we went to a Daintree Rainforest. So it's like one of the oldest rainforests in the world. Yeah. It's listed as like a World Heritage Site. So we stayed there 2 days, and then we went to the next leg of the trip.
Please tell me you've vlogged this, by the way.
Everything's vlogged.
Thank God.
GoPro, regular camera, everything's vlogged.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My favorite part, other than like obviously scuba diving is number one, yeah, and I'll speak about this, yeah, is the Daintree Rainforest.
Okay.
Well, subhanAllah, my
Really?
mind was just blown. Yeah,
And initially, like, you knew about that prior going?
Nope.
Like, about the,
nope,
serious?
everything was like a learning curve to me. Like all I knew about the Daintree Rainforest was we're gonna stay in some rainforest that locally resembles what do you call it, Thailand and Bali and all
So
that
you
kind of stuff.
stayed in the rainforest.
We stayed in the actual rainforest. There was like a lodge in the rainforest. No,
That's-
barely
Was that
any.
expensive to do?
No, it actually wasn't. It wasn't
Yeah.
too bad, wallah. And
Because I'm a big rainforest guy. Like, if I could pick between like walking on a hike like in the forest
yeah,
compared to like the beach,
yeah.
I'd pick that any day of the week.
So if you rather to live on the coast or inland, you'd go.
Yeah, if there's nice forest. and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I know, I just like it. Like the
I'm the
greenery,
same.
you're feeling like the vibe.
It's
The beach
different
gets
thing.
hot, the sun,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
water,
Nah,
sand.
100%.
You know.
It's a different vibe. Wallah,
Okay.
it's a different vibe. And then the next leg of the trip, we went back to Cairns. So, all right, so Cairns is obviously like you got Brisbane, Gold Coast, and the Cairns is like even northern Queensland.
Mm.
So we went 2 hours and a half northern of Cairns. So we're like pretty much at the north of Australia.
wow.
Yeah. Then we came back to Cairns. We stayed there for a couple of days. That's where we did our bungee jumping. We went into like
How was
random.
bungee jumping? Did you?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So we did bungee jumping, and then all we did basically there we were in different like fresh waters, and we just started swimming in what do they call them?
Rivers or?
Like random rivers and lakes and stuff. We just started swimming in them. And later on, I'll touch on this. It was probably a stupid idea because there's bare crocodiles up in Cairns. Wallah, too
Did you
much
see any or
crocodile.
no?
Okay.
We didn't end up seeing any, but like I'll get to that bit of the
That's
trip
what they
later
said,
on.
yeah.
It's like those signs. Be
Yeah.
careful, crocodiles.
No, the guy at Daintree Rainforest, he said if there's anything that I'd tell you, I'll give you advice is don't go to a random like lake or it's called waterhole and start swimming in there. He goes, unless you've seen the locals and there's barely any locals up there swimming it, don't swim in it basically. You're bound for an accident to have. That's how many crocodiles there are up there, basically.
Subhanallah.
And by that time he told us, we've already swam like every single waterhole we saw. We just went in there, swam, went for a swim, went for a swim, went for a swim. And we just
Before the
clocked it.
advice,
I remember
yeah.
one night I had like a low-key like a nightmare type. I closed my eyes, you know, like the prelude to an actual sleep.
Yeah.
And you start going to sleep. As I was about to go to sleep, I see crocodiles. And I was like, nah, that's a sign right there. Like I'm not
Yeah.
going into a random waterhole. And then we finished that. So we did bungee jumping, random waterholes. We were meant to do kayaking, but time was just too tight. You know what I mean? So we just allowed that. Then the next day we went to, for the next 3-4 days, we did the scuba diving course. So it's like a 4-day course. The first day you're on land, you're doing it in like a swimming pool, and then she teaches you everything. You know, there's a bit of
Equipment and
theory.
stuff.
Yeah, equipment, how to use your
Yeah.
oxygen tank and all that kind of stuff. A lot of theory, you know. Bro, it was technically like a school course because you're in a school room. You know the USI that they ask you for at universities, like that unique student
Yeah.
identification number or
Mm,
whatever it is.
yeah.
They ask you for that too type of thing, you know.
Okay, well.
So we did that for 4 days. Then we came back to Cairns, just chilled there, and we left Cairns, and then we went.
Great
to-
Barrier Reef. Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it? Like, is it?
Bro,
Is it beautiful to look at? I need to see the footage. You should have showed
Wow.
us the footage before this.
when you're above water, it's not as good as it is underwater. So
Oh,
like
wow.
obviously because the reef is obviously below water, obviously,
Yeah.
yeah. But when you see it above water, all you just see is just straight blue, just as you normally see in an
Yeah.
ocean type of thing, yeah.
Mm.
But it's calm. It's a different type of vibe. But underwater, bro, I seen animals that are just on a different level. Obviously, because I have a fear of the ocean. Yeah, like a bad. I think I spoke about this. Remember when I told you
the
boys
fears we
on the
wanna
fear
overcome.
episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, and that was one of the
Like
reasons
being
why
stranded in the ocean. That was it.
being
Yeah.
stranded in the ocean, and that fear obviously comes from the fact that like I don't know, there's a lack of stability. Like you know, like when you're on land, you can just feel the land and whatever.
Mm.
Whereas like when you're out in the ocean, cause something goes wrong with this that like
Uncertainty.
the uncertainty,
Yeah.
and plus, fam, I hate what's underwater. You don't know what's underwater type of thing, and this is where my fear comes from. Yeah, and I remember I'm just gonna jump straight to the scuba diving aspect of the story. Yeah.
Yeah, go for
But what happened was, so the scuba diving, I was wallah, scared, to the point where the night before, I had convinced myself, to the point where wallah, I couldn't sleep, bro. I had to put rain sounds on just to go to sleep. I'd convinced myself I don't care what anyone says. The next morning, I'm not jumping on the water. I don't care if it's $1,000 and I paid for it or whatever. I don't care what the boys say.
Wow.
I'm gonna come up with a lie when I come back to think. Because at this point, this is what I had vlogged everything low key. I put a lot of things on my Instagram, so everyone's expecting a story when I come back. So I was like, nah, it is what it is. Some things just isn't for me, and this is one of them. But I remember when I took the first step into the water, as I'm about to dive, all my fear went away from me because I looked underwater, I just saw blue, I just seen fishes. I can say too bad. That I just kept on thinking.
Man. It's all in your head,
That's
right?
all it is. Well, it's like that amp, and then whatever afterwards. You can't really.
You build it.
Can't
It's
do
like when I
much.
went skydiving. I felt the exact same thing.
Well,
It's like you don't want to jump. You're in the plane. Your head's back, and you're like, should I jump? Should I jump? Can I? And it's like as soon as you're in the plane, you technically have to jump. And then as soon as you do the first jump, it's like
the
this
fear
is actually
goes away.
blissful. This is actually nice. This is a good
Sure.
vibe. And it's like it's probably the same with bungee jumping.
Yeah, 100%.
We're gonna touch back on that. Yeah.
Bungee jumping. The thing about it is, the walk up to the bungee jumping. I'm not a person that really, other than the scuba diving thing, I don't realize what I'm getting myself into type of thing, Maybe because I actually have a genuine fear of the water and the ocean and stuff with scuba diving. But like bungee jumping, as we're walking up, you're going up like 100. I don't know how high we were going up, but it was pretty high. Yeah, you'll see it in the vlog when I show you guys, But as I got to the top, that's when my realization came to me. I was like, damn, why did I decide to jump off the top of this right now?
Did the boys do it too, or just you?
Everyone did it.
Okay.
We all did it. And then that fear, like going back to the whole fear thing, you jump off. Bro, my life flashed right before my eyes. Everyone had a reaction. Some people, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Other people started just screaming. Other people, whatever. Me, if you'll see it in the videos, all I did was this.
Like a stern face, yeah?
And you know what I was thinking about there?
What
I was thinking about life right there. I was like, shit, damn.
Maybe
Flashbacks.
I was
after the
yelling out.
podcast, we have to ask what those things came to your head,
The other
what the
reaction was-
ideas were.
Yeah, well, I was.
That's
What
insane,
part of
man.
your life?
You were about to say?
No, it's insane because, bro, like, honestly, for me, like, skydiving's on my list, I can't even put bungee jumping on my list yet.
For sure.
Because it's that much of a fear.
Yeah,
When I
100%.
seen you do it, I didn't even know you were going to do it, bro. I was so gassed. I was messaging this guy.
Yeah,
Sent
he
like
was.
10 messages, bro, straight
It
away.
was.
And this guy was telling me he couldn't sleep the night before. And obviously, I couldn't understand it until he tells us now.
For sure.
But, like, I didn't understand, like, even walking up, were you doubting yourself? Like, walking up
With the
all
bungee jumping? Nah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into. As
Oh,
I'm
that's
walking
why.
up, I'm actually G to go jump off. But you know what
Oh,
it
that's
is?
rare.
It's when you get put on the ledge. Yeah, when you get put on the ledge. And this is the thing between bungee jumping and... Because I don't really have a fear of heights. You know, we're talking about heights and stuff. I don't really
okay.
have a fear of heights. So when we got put onto the ledge, that's when I realized, because as soon as I jump off, you don't feel any form of harness or anything like that because you're tied up by your feet and you just jump. So in those first like 3 seconds, which feel like 10 minutes, you're saying to yourself, bro, why the hell did I just do this? Like, in what right mind did I think this is the right thing to do right now? You know? Then as you go down and then all those feelings come past you and everything's flashing before your eyes, then you realize like how good it is. Then you get hit with the biggest like,
Adrenaline rush, yeah?
fuck, that feeling.
It's like I could do anything.
Yeah, I understand crackheads now, bro. That feeling, that feeling there is,
Yeah.
Bro, it's literally like a near-death experience. It's like, I don't even know what it is. It's like it's pretending like you're actually going to
For
kill
sure.
yourself, but it's not.
For
Like,
sure,
it's
for
just
sure.
insane. So
And
would you recommend people do it?
100%, wallah, 100%.
And you would go do it again, like right now?
Bro, we straight after the bungee jumping, because it's like, what, $140 just to do the bungee jumping. And every jump after that, I think they charge you like $40 type of thing, yeah? But I'm not even thinking about the money at this point. They said, would you want to do a second jump? Take this, maybe even this one too. I'll give you another one type of thing. This time we went up to the top, yeah. So they give you options when you're doing bungee jumping. They say you can either like, you can get your head dipped into the water, or you can just go down and that's it basically, yeah? Obviously, if I'm here, I'm in Cairns.
Full
something,
experience.
I want to get full experience. I want to get my head in the water type of thing. The first jump, I didn't get my head in the water. Boring.
Oh, did you do multiple jumps?
So I did a second jump. After the first one, fam, wallahi, you could give me anything. I would do anything. Wallahi,
It was all easy from there.
Yeah.
Nah, it was... When I got to the second jump, the same feeling came again when I went to the tip. I said, bro, I could have just left it at one. Like, why am I doing it twice type of thing?
Okay.
Yeah? But so the first one, they said, oh, it's like $40 for a second jump. We're like, bet 100%. And we were the last people on like the day type of thing to book. So we're like, why not? There's all the time in the world. We did it. As I'm going up to the top again, this guy goes to me, would you want it to do it backwards or frontwards? As in you can jump off backwards or you can drop off backwards. Full experience. Guess what I did? I did it backwards. Backwards.
That's insane.
Backwards. And on top of that, because I asked him like to make it like even more exciting type of thing, yeah? there's this backwards thing where as he's holding, because if you go up backwards yourself, you just fall. He will grab you, he will lean you over, and that was scarier than the whole first thing, because he'll lean you over, and now he's holding over the ledge. So you, look at this, yeah? So with the bungee jumping, yeah? Right now, is the audio good, by the way? Audio's good, yeah? With the bungee jumping, yeah? So when you're going frontwards, you just step over, and then you're done. With backwards as well, they low-key like let you go while you're leaning overwards, and you don't know when he's going to let you go.
Yeah, because when you're jumping on, you know exactly when you're going to jump off.
Exactly. So you're timing a type of thing. And mind you, bro, the two guys, I think because it was the end of the day or something like that, bro, biggest air raids in the world. Shout out to Jack and John. Yeah, that's their names. But biggest air raiders. You know, so Salah went before me, yeah?
Yeah.
And as Salah went before me, I could hear his like instructions. I'll give him a rundown and all this kind of stuff. Do this, look straight ahead and all that kind of stuff. I didn't pay attention, obviously, to all of it because I was lucky vlogging this, that. Anyway, when I went up to it, this guy goes, "Oh, you're ready," and he's holding me over the ledge. I said, "Fam, like, what am I meant to do? Like, do you know what I mean?
You feel helpless.
Like, tell me, do something like that." You can see it because there's a GoPro footage, yeah? They give you a GoPro to record the whole thing. I wasn't recording myself because I was so annoyed at this guy, because you want to record the full experience as you're about to jump down. I had the camera backwards like this. You can't see me in the footage because I'm so annoyed at this guy. This guy's not giving me instructions. I said, "Do I step? Do I do this?" My life is in his hands right now. And this guy said, "Just jump." And that's me, like, the whole panic coming in.
Of course, yeah.
Anyway, when we did it backwards, because we missed the water the first time, I had to touch the water, yeah? So I said to him, I want to touch the water. And he goes, this is the worst part of it all. Well, like, this is when the fear actually hit me. He's loading up the ropes, yeah? And they have to put it at a certain length. They measure it all, yeah? Based off of your height, your weight, all that kind of stuff, yeah? As he's about to drop me up, guess what he says to me?
They made a joke, yeah. They always take the mickey. Let's hear this.
Guy goes to me. I said to him, "I really want to touch the water, get my head dipped in the water." He goes, "Bro, I know, so do I. These ropes are new. We just got them yesterday."
Oh, not that.
I said to him, "And mind you,"
He says it to everyone, for sure.
no, mind you, he's holding me over the ledge while he's saying this.
Oh, no.
You know, there's no going back at this point.
Yeah.
Because if I try leaning forward, like, I'll low-key miss my step and I might just fall type of thing.
Yeah.
So while he said that, I said, "Man, these guys just pissed me off." He let me go. And then after I went falling, alhamdulillah. As I went into the water, you seen the video of me getting dipped into the water. The impact was, all the boys touched the water on their second jump. We all did a second time, yeah? But my second dip was the worst one out of all of them.
Yeah, the most impact?
Worst.
Yeah, especially like half your body or most of it, yeah.
For a whole day, my nose is hurting, fam.
Damn.
The impact, I thought literally I broke my nose, that type of impact. Because first of all, you don't anticipate the water. Because halfway you're jumping, you go, "Oh shit, like I jumped off." Then you realize, "Oh crap, I'm about to go into the water." So you don't register all of this, so you don't get in the right position and stuff. So all you hear is, and by the way, impact from water at a high height hurts. So all you hear is, "Dush." I put up to the story, I'm thinking like, I'm G, this, that, bro. That man, like, replies I got in regards to like just this is low-key, like, you got, someone said this is low-key racism. Bro, the comments were just dead.
Hey, now they all know who it is, Jack and John, bro.
Like, straight up, but it was 10 out. I highly recommend. I reckon we got to do it once together. Well, I want to see everyone's reaction. You know, in moments like that as well, yeah, people's real life reactions come out. So going back to before when I said when everyone jumped, we all had a different reaction. Yeah, I'll show you videos about it as well. But like,
Oh, you got the reactions from the other boys as well?
Other boys, yeah, 100%. I'm not trying to blast them out like this, but if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Type of thing.
If you could do one of them again, what would it be?
Nah, bungee jumping. Oh, like out of scuba diving, bungee jumping?
Okay.
Nah, scuba diving, without a doubt.
Okay. How about if you could go back to like, because now you're experienced in both.
Yeah.
So you know how valuable it is. If you could only pick one before the trip, and now you know what it is.
See, this is the difference, okay? The trips all, because there was 3 major legs of the trip, yeah? Because the last leg of the trip, the Gold Coast trip, and I'll get to this story, I perforated my eardrum. So I didn't really enjoy that, like that last bit of the trip, yeah? So technically the boys had 4 legs of the trip, like Daintree, bungee, and the kayak and blah, blah, all that. What do you call it? Scuba diving, and then the Gold Coast part of the trip, yeah? I missed out on the Gold Coast part of the trip. Anyway, so the Daintree was just like, I learned a lot in terms of like knowledge about like the Daintree Rainforest, indigenous culture, and also the whole idea of like, you're out of your own environment, you know, because going back to the whole Daintree thing, so there's this thing called like a night walk. So later at night, you can go for a night walk of the rainforest, and we got like the full experience of the rainforest. Rainforest being a rainforest, it started raining on us. The guy goes to us, Kane, and I'm telling you, this guy, Kane, shout out to Kane. I follow him on Instagram. I wish I knew what his at was, yeah. One of the most knowledgeable guys ever. I learned one thing about him, yeah. If you're going to love something, yeah, like love it and go completely hard at it. This guy knows every nook and cranny of the rainforest like it's the back of his hand. So it was, there was us on the night walk, plus 2 older guys, which were lagging. They made the experience something else, yeah. But anyway, so one of the ladies is scared of spiders to the point that when we're walking around the rainforest, we used to say the S word for spiders rather than saying actual spiders because she's so terrified about spiders.
That much.
Yeah. So at one point, what happens is the rainforest is so dark to the point where we had flashlights. Yeah. If you took off your flashlights, you can't see the back of your hand. Like the hand that's right in front of you, that's how dark it is. It's pitch black. Yeah. So technically, going back to it, our life is in this guy's hands. If a random cassowary comes out of nowhere or a flying tree kangaroo or something like that comes out of nowhere, it is what it is. Anyway, at one point, he told us to take our flashlights off, and I think he low-key planned this bit, yeah, because he knows every corner of the rainforest. We're walking, and then he put his flashlight on, and he goes, spider, top left corner. The fattest spider the spider was this big. I put it on my story, yeah, but it didn't look as big on the video compared to what it was in real life. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, how did this guy know that it was there? Yeah. And I remember I was telling Harun at one point, I said to him, bro, because we're drenched in, like, rain. He gave us, like, a poncho. He gave the other guys, like, an umbrella. Yeah. This guy's jacket was not wet at one point. And I said to Harun, I whispered to his ears, I said to him, hey, bro, wallahi, respectfully, like, if shit goes left, it's just you and I at this point, type of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, we cannot trust this. How are we all soaked wearing umbrellas? This guy doesn't have shoes on. He doesn't have shoes on, and his jacket, yeah, people are trying to tell me, like, it's leather and stuff. It's not leather, fam. I'm telling you right now.
How's it dry? I don't get that.
That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? And you know the thing, at this point, if he told me to jump, wallah, I'd jump. If he told me, wallah, I'd just do everything. He gave us a random, like, candy off a tree, yeah, and this is me realizing it later on type of thing, yeah. He just ripped it off the tree and he goes, eat it.
Don't worry, it's all good.
I said, why not? Bro, my dumbass asked him 10 minutes afterwards, hey, by the way, what was that? Like,
once you've digested it, it's like,
once I've digested everything. He goes, oh, the indigenous used to eat this. And he goes, I might as well explain it. Yeah, well, I'm a dumbass, bro. But he goes, basically, due to, like, the sugar production in, like, nowadays, if we were to actually eat that would be so sweet to us. But to me, it tasted like it was nothing. It was bland and everything. And he goes, this was basically, like, to the indigenous people. And I'm probably butchering this, yeah? But it was, like, their type of, like, candy. Like, it was like a snack to them type of thing. You know what I mean? They just rip it up. And it makes them salivate even more. It makes your, like, saliva glands just start producing saliva. So it was crazy. Anyway, but I just clocked it 10 minutes after. I'm like, bro, what the hell did I just eat? And by the way, this is the good thing about vlogging, having the GoPro. So I can't take my actual lens because it's raining and whatever. And when I say rain, it's like a heavy rain pouring down. So luckily, I brought out the GoPro. I had it on my head type of thing. And you can hear, like, all of these conversations like, hey, by the way, the gin, watch out for this type of thing. And the whole thing about, hey, what the hell did we just eat type of thing, you know?
Or like side comments, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But the rainforest bit, see, that's why I'm going back to the question before. If I was to, like, tell you which part of the leg of the trip was the best part of the trip, I couldn't tell you type of thing. Like, scuba diving had its own experiences. Anyway, so going back to, like, when you compare the different legs of the trip, like, you can't really say, like, this bit was better than that bit, you know? But even with, like, the Daintree, like, even learning things about how, like, when, like, the early settlers came to Australia type of thing, how the rainforest technically in that area that it wasn't the biggest rainforest, or at least the aspect of the rainforest we were in wasn't that big. But apparently, like, all of that was just, like, cut down. You know what I mean? Just for, like, I think sugarcane production or something along those lines type of thing, yeah? And to the point, bro, this guy, we ended up speaking to him after the rainforest trip, and we're just at his reception desk or whatever. And he was just telling us a lot of information about books to read and all this kind of stuff. He goes, one of his favorite, bro, this is the thing, yeah? He goes to us because he's never had really an education. So the Daintree, the people that he grew up with, the community, he said to us, there's been about 40 people that have, like, were born in the Daintree and have grown up actually in the Daintree type of thing. You know what I mean? So it's like a very, very small community of like 40 people. Everyone else has come from somewhere else in the world or somewhere else in Australia to live in the actual Daintree. Yeah. And mind you, this guy's knowledgeable. His favorite, he loves fungi. Really, really love fungi. He'll give you like a random part of the actual, like the rainforest. Like he'll show you a mushroom. Yeah, we saw like glowing mushrooms and stuff. And he'll tell you everything about the actual thing. You know, back to forth. And that's a mixture of his actual experiences. He goes to me, I'll go to the pub one night, hop on a skateboard. Yeah, and mind you, it's scary. At night, it's dark and it's weird. He said, I'll just hop on my skateboard and just focus on one thing for that night and just stare at it type of thing and find that information. And he goes, but then that's also backed up by books that he reads. You know, like he goes, his favorite book is called *Sapiens*, type of thing.
Yeah.
And I said to him, "That's what's up," type of thing. And you look at this guy, and if you were to stereotype this guy, you'd be like, you know, you have knowledge, type of thing.
Like you might not look like someone.
And he goes back to the whole thing where he goes like the thing is like with unis and stuff, they teach you about things like theoretically, yeah. But then there's like he goes, I'm actually living this type of thing, you know. Like we saw fungi that was actually reproducing, and then he'd tell us like how this occurs and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And then randomly to end off like the walk, like alhamdulillah we've seen this, yeah. But a random frog came out of nowhere. Well, I thought it was a frog, but it was like he called it a Brazilian toad, yeah. And me being a dumbass, wallah, I'm all for experiences. Yeah, he grabs it. Then you can see me in a video doing this, yeah. And I went to try and reach it. And he goes to me, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
And he was so calm about it, yeah?
Yeah, it was so calm about it. But at this point, I ate from his fingers, yeah. He saved me from a spider. I'm telling you right now, if he told me do something, wallah, I'd do it. He said, don't do it. All you see is my hand in the video go like this. Straight away. I said, why? And he goes, these guys are basically, they're predators. And also, even once they die, they kill basically the rainforest. It's like the number one enemy to the rainforest. Because I think, if I'm not wrong, yeah, so the early settlers or whatever, to break down the rainforest and get rid of, just break down the ecosystem there, they introduced Brazilian toads from obviously Brazil, South America and whatever. And then what happened is they would kill all the frogs and everything basically in the rainforest. And also when they die themselves, when a random animal comes to try and eat it, they're like basically poisonous, and they also kill that too. And that is the way of basically breaking down the rainforest in order for like sugarcane production and all that kind of stuff. But he grabs that toad, that Brazilian toad, yeah, and he goes, this guy, I hate him. And I said, okay, damn, a bit dramatic.
What did he do to you?
And you gotta have the scenery to all of this, yeah. So think about this right now. It's like it's raining, yeah. You can't hear because the ponchos are covering your ears. And this is when I had hearing, by the way. So this is like the ponchos covering ears, the umbrellas. The lady in the back is frightened, thinking about the spiders that's behind her. And all you see is he grabs the toad. He goes, I don't even know if I should look if he's saying this. He grabs it and he just smacks it on the side of the
What the hell?
You're lying to me.
Hey, that's personal, bro.
Wallah, I can't cap it. He goes, yeah, it's personal to me.
Please tell me you recorded this one.
No, that bit, wallah, if there's, because I told him I'm recording, obviously, just whatever.
Yeah.
Funny guy.
You guys don't record this,
you know, we could sit down and watch that GoPro footage like a movie and just snack on it. Wallah, I'm telling you right now.
Mad. I'm so down.
He goes in, he grabs its head. Wallahi, bro. This is me. I'm just standing there. This is everyone basically, yeah? We all just did this.
Like, what did we just see?
What the hell just happened,
bro?
This guy just basically, but then he explained it. So this is where I have to do the story justice, yeah? Going back to the whole thing about them being predators and them breaking down the rainforest, all that kind of stuff. He goes, I've been to like aspects of the rainforest where only maybe like less than 100 people have been there in the last century, yeah? Because that's how like isolated the rainforest is, type of thing. And he goes, you'll still see these toads there, and they go all the way down to like New South Wales. Basically, they can't be controlled anymore. They just became a massive infestation in Australia. And he goes, basically, it's like my duty type of thing, blah, 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 that type of thing. You know?
You just got
a lot of like animal, like, I don't know, those vet welfare people type of thing.
You probably saw so many animals that you've never even heard of or seen, and you're like, ban.
Yeah.
You didn't even know they existed, you know?
This guy was apologizing to us like halfway through the thing. He goes, bro, sorry guys, if it wasn't raining, the trip would be 10 times better type of thing. I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, because then you could actually like hear the rainforest alive. Because obviously with the rain and stuff, it's like blocking a lot of the sounds. And I'm thinking, if this is how good it is when it's raining, type of thing. And mind you, when you're going on trips, you gotta live the full experience of certain things. You can't say, like Harun, for example, he started getting blisters in because we're on a long walk type of thing, yeah. So his feet started hurting, started getting blisters and all that kind of stuff. And then after, he's thinking about, what the hell do I do at this point? You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, just take off your shoes. He started walking in socks in the rainforest. Type of thing, because that relieved the pain of, you know, have you ever walked in like wet shoes, worst thing you can do in the world type of thing. You bought the wrong shoes to alhamdulillah, straight up, wallah, shout out to Crocs. I bought Crocs on it, bro, best ever purchase on that. We need to get a funding for that, but anyway,
sponsor,
we need to get a sponsor for that. Anyway, so going back to Harun, going back to the whole living the full experience of thing, you got to do certain things that you wouldn't do back when you're at home, like in Melbourne type of thing. You got to take off your shoes, you know what I mean? If you're going to go touch a poisonous frog, wallahi, I wouldn't touch it.
If you're going to eat something random from the forest, the guy tells you, you're going to do it, bro.
Wallahi, you have to, bro. But yeah, so personally, I rated that Daintree Rainforest. That, and mind you, So every time we went on a different leg of the trip, it got better and better and better.
Yeah.
So it set the standard to it as well, you know?
And then you resonated with everything you did on the trip, where someone else might only resonate with one or two things. I want to touch on one thing, because before you left the trip, you told us the price tag, and you were saying it was a bit like,
Yeah.
you said 2.5 before, you like.
It was way more expensive than that.
Yeah, but even thinking about that, it's 2.5, 10 days, and you're like, damn, I don't know if I should be sending this. Be like, Bismillah, let me do it. Now, looking at your reaction after, obviously you think the investment's worth it. How would you, would you say 100%? Like,
yeah, for sure, 100%.
Maybe you sent 3K, whatever it was, 100% worth the investment.
100%.
Because the experiences. Because sometimes when people think about traveling, they're like, I want to travel on a budget, and I won't go bungee jumping because I want to save $300.
Yeah.
But then in the long run, it's like those life experiences, something you're going to look back on. Like all those experiences you just said, scuba diving, bungee jumping, the forest, even going to like a movie world or whatever. I haven't done any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like 1 or 2 shifts and you get that experience.
For sure.
It's so worth it.
100%, bro. If you calculate the money and the amount of time, like you think about it, like I remember having a conversation with someone at work about this, like someone that like hoards money. And like my philosophy isn't really like hoarding money type of thing. It's like if I have a certain time where I can spend that money on a certain experience that I probably know I won't get back, I can't justify it any more further. Like I definitely 100% I'm going to go do it type of thing. But everyone's different to that degree, you know, and people live different types of lives. Like for example, when we did the bungee jumping, towards the end, they asked us, hey, yo, do you want to go buy the footage for the trip? And that costs money, and that's how they make money type of thing. In my head, I'm thinking $40 for like I've been recording videos and all that kind of stuff. One clip I wouldn't buy $40 for it.
Was it 40?
It was $40 for the GoPro clip.
I went skydiving, it was 150.
Yeah. 150.
That puts in perspective.
But
That's
just
like
so
the
you
whole
know,
bungee jumping.
but that's
Basically, yeah.
You can
skydiving.
justify
I
it.
think was 250, and then it was 150 for.
Did you buy it?
Yeah, because the boys said the exact same thing. It's like, because if you're going skydiving, you have no other option for recording.
For sure.
Maybe someone could be on the bottom level recording with their phone.
For sure.
You can maybe walk up with your camera. Skydiving, I can't take my phone on the trip.
No, you can't.
So it's like you either get nothing
Or something.
or something.
And when you watch it back, sorry, finish your point. Sorry.
No, that's it. Yeah.
I was going to say, when you watch it back later on, the feelings that you get and the angles that you see, is just like, it's a different level, bro. You can't get that moment again.
Has your perspective now on traveling or maybe looking for experience changed?
Oh.
Like, because sometimes it's like, it's still 2.5K, it's still 3K, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So how has it changed? Like,
First, it's G'd me up to travel even more. That's one thing.
for travel, like you said before, like Turkey, all to places, or for experiences? Or both?
The whole thing that
shebang.
comes with traveling, like traveling, the experiences, the people that you meet, and the other thing is the whole uncomfortability that you deal with, like traveling. Like we started off our trip. I don't know if you saw, but we started off our trip with like a problem that started off from the get go. Basically, we came late to the airport, and we ended up coming late to the airport. So you know what that meant? We missed our plane.
No.
And we missed our plane by we didn't miss the actual plane. We missed the check-in time by literally 3 minutes.
Okay, let's hear this. What time was your flight and what time did you get there?
So our flight was on the first day was 6:30.
Okay, and what time did you get
So
there?
check-in closes at 6 a.m. and we got there at 6:03.
You can't expect to arrive 25 minutes before the flight and get on. Like, come on, bro. I'm saying,
Hey, you know what the funny
that's
thing
bad, bro.
is? You know what the funny thing is?
You missed another flight.
Come on, man.
No. Oh yeah, we did miss another flight, but that was for another reason. Hey, but we missed the second flight for another reason. The first flight, wallahi, respectfully, was me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was a bit too casual with the whole thing because the night before, and this was the night when we recorded the Abu Hamza episode. You know how I came last minute to the episode type of thing? I don't know, I just underestimated. I'm so used to international traveling, that I underestimated it and we'll get there type of thing. When I was driving to one of the boys' house, I ended up low-key coming a bit late to that. That meant we came late to that and we just ended up missing a type of thing. It is what it is type of thing. We had to camp out at Mamduh's house because we didn't know what to do. We're not trying to go back home type of thing. So at Mamduh's house, The second flight that we missed was because of, because you know when you go scuba diving, due to the pressure underwater, there's also pressure at high altitudes when you're on a plane type of thing. So in the course, the theoretical course, they say after doing 2 dives, you have to wait at least 18 hours for your next flight. Like if you're flying out, because it's not good for your ears type of thing. So obviously, as soon as we came back to Cairns from the Great Barrier Reef, and we docked at the what's it called, what do you call it, at the pier or whatever they call it, our flight was within 2 hours or something like that.
I was pre-booked.
It was pre-booked. So we're gonna go to it. but we thought of doing this safer
Just
thing
in
type
case.
of thing.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
mind you-
that's not really missing. That's like planning. You didn't go to the airport and miss out because you came late. You know, it's more like you plan not to take it for safety reasons.
yeah,
So
for
it's a
sure.
bit better.
So we technically did type of thing. So yeah.
You
That's
gonna
the
return
gym
it?
laughing behind the camera, by the way.
Yeah.
What we're gonna say? Yeah, now what was I gonna say?
So just your mindset on traveling is like, I want to invest in experiences. You know?
Also, what I like about that, because
Yeah.
I remember you told me the first time, like this whole idea of where you're going, why you're going, and I questioned my head, would I ever do that?
Yeah.
Because it's, to me, I'm a couple of this where it's like, alhamdulillah, I've traveled overseas, yeah?
Yep.
So the idea of traveling around Australia is just like, yeah, whatever.
For sure.
Like, I can always do it, or also it's not as good
Yeah.
as other countries. But then you tell me these experiences, and once I see footage, it's like, okay, I'm actually going to consider this.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
actually going to see what there is around Australia and things we can do.
Hey, yeah, go.
Now, I just think on that, his legendary experience, I think, was a lot better because he was with people as
That's
well.
true, yeah.
Sometimes if you're traveling alone or traveling even with one person, you might not want to go. The experience might be good, but then if you're in a group with close mates, it's probably so much better.
For sure,
Because
for
you
sure.
get those memories with them.
Better, and then obviously you learn other people's tendencies while traveling. You bump heads and all that. All of those experiences come together. But also going back to the thing, the value that you get out of, I guess, traveling. Going back to your point though, yeah, traveling within Australia, like in our backyard, I think that came about because of COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's so used to
It was a
looking
blessing.
abroad for traveling experiences, like going to Bali when you can go do scuba diving up on the Great Barrier Reef. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's the largest coastal reef in all over the world type of thing, and we have it in our backyard. Yet we're thinking about something else type of thing. So I think that came out because of COVID. But going back to the whole like value thing, I think number one thing is the whole uncomfortable experiences. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I realized, because going back to the scuba diving, yeah, I'm jumping stories here. Going back to the scuba diving. So obviously, I injured my ear on the first day of training on the scuba diving, because you know how I told you about on land, they teach you how to scuba dive. They get you comfortable with your tanks. I was going down in the deep end of the pool, and I accidentally, because to deflate your BCD, your vest basically, there's two buttons essentially. And when I deflated, I accidentally held it a bit too long. So we have weight belts on us and everything, and obviously in my weight and everything, I went down too fast. And they teach you three things, and I told you about this last night, about when you're scuba diving underwater. There's three rules, like three technically golden rules. Don't touch anything underwater, especially in the Great Barrier Reef. Never ever hold your breath underwater, so basically continually breathe. And like the third thing was equalize your ear. All right, so this is the rule that I technically like broke due to like an accident. Like I can't really control for
You
this.
said
Like,
before, because the water, you don't know like how much pressure you're actually putting when you're fighting water, like you get thumb
100%.
or your fingers.
and with also you're in a different environment. You know, you're underwater. Everything feels so different and whatnot. You got fins on and everything. So I ended up going down too fast on one of the training exercises, and then like my eardrums just bursted. Like my ear bursted. In the moment, whatever, you just like thug it out. You just keep the pain going. Yeah. Anyway, later on that night, I told you boys, we went to the laundry room, one of the boys, and I told him, hey, yo, is your ear hurting? And he goes to me, no, like, I'm straight, like, nothing's hurting. And I was like, that was like my first cue of like something's wrong. So the next day, we went out, and this is like my anxiety is like absolutely high at this point. I'm scared of the water and all this kind of stuff. And the boys all know this type of thing. You know, they're trying to G me up, and obviously boys being boys, they're dissing me at the same time too, yeah? And honestly, you like block out those disses because you're having a mental, it's called mental battle with yourself. Anyway, so we went out to the water, and I told you boys, like at this point, I'm thinking I'm not even diving at all. I said to myself, I convinced myself the night before, can't sleep, not due to the pain or whatever. I'm thinking of reasons, how I can get out of this, whatever. Anyway, I put on my equipment and everything's set up, and at this point, and you could see it in my face because I took a photo, I'm not there. Everyone else smiling, I'm not there. I'm just thinking about, bro, what the hell is under the water right now? Anyway, so you have to, when you're jumping out of the scuba dive, you have to take one massive leap, check they teach you like sign language and stuff, check everyone's okay in front of you, take a massive leap, and you go under the water. Alhamdulillah, I got into the water, my fear went away at this point, yeah? There's this massive rope under the water, and you go gradually down, and that's where you're trying to keep the rule of equalizing your ear. As you go down, you equalize your ear. And they say within 2 to 5 meters underwater, that's where the pressure is the greatest. After 5 meters, it just gets easier. I didn't know that the first time I was diving. So at 4 meters, I can't equalize one of my ears. And I know that because first of all, one of my ears is fine. I use that as a point of reference. And second of all, every time everyone's popped their ears before. You've popped your ears before, yeah? You get this like release of pressure. It's a relieving feeling because it starts to hurt. I got the opposite. Every time I popped it, it's hurting. So I was like, okay, crap, what do I do? And anyway, she told me, someone here?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. So she ended up telling me there's rules. If you're not feeling okay underwater type of thing, keep it pushing. It's called, and just signal up to go up to save the thingy. So I said to her, I bet I got to go up, not feeling good. Yeah, she said, because she's looking at you while you're equalizing. So I went up to the water. I was in complete pain that whole time. Later on, at this point, I spent the first day completely in the cabin, just thinking about like, damn. Because at this point now, everyone low-key thinks I'm not going into the water because I'm scared of it. But it's actually the complete opposite. Because now my fear is gone. It's like a win and a loss at the same time. I feel like amazing because of the fact that I jumped in the water and I low-key done it. But I feel at loss because now I actually haven't done a dive. And now everyone's coming out for lunch. Hey, yo, the dive's lit. This, that. I saw
Hyping
this.
it up.
I saw that. And we have to complete our logbooks. There's a logbook for every dive you do. You got to see how deep you went, your oxygen levels and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, then on the second dive, while my ear was hurting, she goes, hey, is your ear feeling better in the next morning? I said to her, low-key lied to her, shouldn't have done that. I said to her, like, yeah, my ear's here. Our next guest is here. I said, and my ears are hurting, yeah? Yusuf has heard all these stories already. I told them already.
Okay, he's got it.
Anyway, so I said to her, hey, yo, my ears hurting type of thing. I didn't tell her my ears hurting. I said, it's all good. I lied to her, and I shouldn't have technically done that. But at this point, wallah, I said to myself, I'm here. I got to come back with a certificate. I can't, because that's the whole point. You come back with a license certificate so you can go anywhere in the world, so you can go scuba diving essentially.
Yeah. Anyway,
one thing led to another. Later on in that day after doing 2 dives, and alhamdulillah, I saw sharks, stingrays, anything you can think of. Yeah. I remember at one point, because once you go below like 2 to 5 meters, you actually start to focus, and you're scared low-key, because you're in a different environment. There's sharks coming this way, this, that, And then after, there was this one beautiful fish that had the most beautiful colors, because you're like orange, yellow, everything you can think of. Yeah. Then I said to him, that was one of my favorite moments under the water. Anyway, later on at dinner, everyone's going for their night dive, and I can't do my night dive because the first day, the 2 dives that I missed, legally I'm not allowed to do my thing because it's a course.
Catch up?
I couldn't catch up because my ear.
But then that's the only way. Are you saying that's the only way to catch up?
Yeah, that's the only way to catch up. So I can't do my night dive. So then I just allowed it type of thing. So we're all watching sunset. And mind you, there's 2 people that's on the boat. At the boat, at once, there can only be 3 people. The skipper, who's obviously the captain of the boat, someone here for safety, and the other person is checking everyone off that goes in the water, like a roll call, basically, yeah? Anyway, and there was this one other girl that was on the boat, the ship with us, yeah? Anyway, what's up, man? She's a snorkeler, so she's not allowed to do dives and stuff. Anyway, she's sitting on my right. We're all watching like the night dives and stuff. And she sees in my ear, she goes, bro, and she's a nurse by the way. She just looks at me, she goes, bro, your ear's bleeding. And like, I knew that I was in pain. First of all, when she told me that, wallah, I was so relieved, because finally
relieved that your ear was in.
Bro, everyone on the trip is telling me.
Hating on him the whole time.
This guy is an aerator, bro. This guy's scared of the water.
So it's legit, all these feelings you've had,
100%.
Makes sense.
And that was low-key like the end of the trip for me in terms of diving, because I couldn't go diving after that, because the skipper goes to me respectfully, like I can't put you at risk and let you go in the water again, And so I ended up getting my certificate and whatnot. And then, I kept it pushing, So, I'm a licensed scuba diver.
Crazy,
a licensed
I wouldn't trust you
blower.
with that, like, half experience.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, look at you. Like, you bursted your ear. You can't teach me how to scuba dive.
No. The thing is, though, scuba diving is probably the easiest thing to learn in the world. Well, like, it's just the environment, getting comfortable with the environment is the actual hard thing.
Do you have to be a very confident swimmer to do it? Or, like, you can't be like a... Like
I'm not...
The swimming level, what do you have to be at?
Okay, so I don't consider myself a confident swimmer.
Okay.
I consider myself like a decent swimmer type of thing.
You can swim?
I can swim.
Yeah.
But then but you can get away with that because you're not really swimming underwater. You do know that, yeah? You have your hands to yourself. You're just flapping your legs and you're breathing out of an oxygen tank that's on your back. So there's actually no technique to it. The only thing is, whatever you do, you can't panic underwater. You just got to keep it straight. You got to keep it pushing and just like act like everything's all good. And then not only that, you're underwater for 30 minutes, yeah? Bro, the 30 minutes go for like 3 seconds. You want to get back into the water again and you're not allowed to type of thing, But then also another thing like on the trip on the scuba diving, because obviously on the Great Barrier Reef, no reception, nothing on the actual boat or whatever. Everyone on the trip was there for specific reasons. And that was like one of the most ajib things to me. While I was thinking about it. There's people that came on their ones. Like I remember a young boy. I keep forgetting his name, Lucas Lachlan or whatever it is. I called him a million names. Anyway, we'll call him Lucas, yeah? He was on the trip. I was speaking to him once. He goes, I was like, who you with? Because he was a bit timid, shy. I was on his ones. And then after, he was explaining how basically he was meant to go on a trip with all his boys. And he's from Cairns, by the way. All his boys. But they didn't bail, but like their schedules didn't align. And I found this fascinating, yeah, because especially at a young age, 17 or whatever, this guy's on a trip and he's like, cool, the boys are not down for it. I'm going to still do the trip.
17.
17, fam. You know, I don't know how he signed the permission notes or whatever, how he legally got on there. Yeah, but he got there
Just
somehow.
before he was 12,
You know what I mean? And I'm just like, that's like, everyone was there for a certain reason, you know? But I think we're going to leave the episode there, inshallah.
Yeah, crazy stories.
We'll leave it at a high note.
We didn't even get to touch on Sydney, so we'll do that soon.
We'll do that 100%.
Yeah, no problem.
But yeah, you want to wrap up there?
Yeah, no problem. I hope you guys did enjoy the video and had some takeaways from Welly's stories, you know. We all did too. I think Ali and I are going to, inshallah, want to travel soon. We didn't get an invite this time, so maybe next time around.
We'll be waiting.
I hope you guys did enjoy the episode. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next week.